everyone, today's story is Giraffe in the Trees. Jerry the giraffe lived in the trees, some of which only came up to his knees. Some were ash, some were oak, others grew branches around like a cloak. Some trees had leaves as green as grass, others had pine needles sharp as glass. Some were home to buzzy bees, lots had pollen which made Jerry sneeze. Achoo! From high up on the hillside, Jerry looks down to the valley below. 2 lakes and a rolling countryside. Sometimes there's a beautiful rainbow. Just beside the smaller lake, there's a big round tower from where a bell used to ring every single hour. Ding, ding. Jerry was afraid of the lakes because he couldn't swim. He thought the water looked very dark and really grim. The other animals didn't know that Jerry couldn't swim. I'll tell them tomorrow, Jerry thought. He didn't want to say it on a whim. Jerry the giraffe up in the trees, lots of animals down at his knees. Eddie the eagle up in the sky. Ben the butterfly flying so high. John the deer had no fear. Sally the sheep was a mountaineer. Meh. Billy the goat out on the lake. Molly the mouse eating some cake. Dee the duck likes to quack. Rose the robin takes a piggyback. Seamus the squirrel scrambles about. Freddy the fox acts as a lookout. Olive the owl flies around the tower, where a bell used to ring every single hour. Ding, ding. Jerry was very big and tall, and he was also very goofy, but he didn't care at all, as he thought he was very groovy. His legs were long and lanky, and Jerry was never cranky. He strutted around in the trees, dancing with his wobbly knees. Jerry had a little friend. Her name was Molly Mouse. Molly would never, ever pretend that she had a palace for a house. Molly sat on Jerry's head between his ossicones. Sometimes she used it as a bed, and sometimes as 2 thrones. Halfway down the hillside, you can hear the waters flow, running fast over rocks down to the lakes below. Water falls from way up high and gushes down with power. That is where Jerry the giraffe likes to take a shower. At the bottom of the waterfall, there is a big and rocky pool where animals like to play and brawl and generally act the fool. The animals come to drink and wash and have a good old bash. Into the rocky pool they dive and crash, making a huge big splash. The rocky pool water is crystal clear, and Jerry can see the bottom as the water isn't deep. Into the water Jerry can leap. There is a great big round tower down near the smaller lake. After Jerry has his power shower, he and Molly like to have some tea and cake. Jerry loved to play hide and seek and run round and round the tower. This makes Jerry really hot, and he has to jump back under the waterfall shower. Every other evening, just as darkness fell, down by the big lake, it was like an animal hotel. Animals come from far and near to meet and greet and have some cheer. One thing you could guarantee was a great big animal jamboree. Billy the goat was rowing his boat, looking back at the party. Out on the boat he was happy to float, all the while drinking some tea. But disaster for Billy, and now he feels so silly. His oars fell into the lake. How would he get back to the shore without an oar? He knew he had the butterfly flew down low and told Jerry the giraffe, "You have to go out into the lake to rescue Billy. It's not his fault that he's so silly." Molly pointed and said, "Your friend Billy's in trouble. He needs your help on the double. So stop eating that cake and get down to the lake." "But I can't swim," Jerry said. "I'm afraid that the water will go over my head." Ben whispered in Jerry's ear, "Walk out into the lake. I think it's not deep. There's a bit of a hill. Let's hope it's not steep." Jerry was scared, but had to be brave. Otherwise, how would he ever save his good friend Billy the goat, who had gotten into difficulty out on his boat? Back to the shore and onto dry land, Jerry knew Billy the goat would be grand. The animals went back to the jamboree down by the lake. Jerry and Molly went back to finish their cake. Jerry the giraffe saved his friend, a true hero in the end. The end.